does his spare face like that? This shit kills me.
Welcome back to another episode of Kangz Council, episode 20, Big 2-0. The podcast that reserves the right to criticize rumors of any game cancellations. Oh, jeez. It's a tough one. All right. Introducing the crew, the typical crew. We got the homie that's looking for ways to use Sony's new autoplay to play Stellar Blade with one hand. Despair?
Yes. That would be great, actually.
And of course, the person who can finally stop sending hate mail to his ISP for throttling him, FallaYoDreams.
Damn, that hurt. That hits home. That hits real home.
And you're truly hoping that Capcom also reports me as performing favorably. Now, moving on, let's talk about Sony patenting a new autoplay feature, something called autoplay that they patented, where it's listed as playing through the non-essential parts of gameplay. So if I'm getting this right, this is something for people who, it's like fast travel basically, only it's going to speed through like unimportant gameplay parts, right? It's going to take it to the next cutscene, take it to the next story element, right? Like, is that what they mean?
I don't know, but go on, because this is the dumbest shit ever to me.
You didn't see this?
I did. I saw it. I just didn't. So, yeah. I didn't look at it because it sounded silly, and I saw people commenting and like the typical Sony bullshit, like, "Wow, this is gonna be fucking revolutionary." And I was like, the way that's explained, cutting past non-essential parts of a game, then why is it in the game?
Well, and to that point is like, if you're gonna go through, like, if the PlayStation is gonna play the game for you, why play the game?
Yeah, why play the game?
It's a non-essential part of the game. Why is it there? What the fuck?
For example purposes, I just want to make sure I'm getting this right. For example purposes, I'm thinking think of like OG Final Fantasy VII, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the game is going to play itself for you when you travel and do all those battles from one point to the other till you get to the next plot point, right? Like, that's what this autoplay is. And then when you get there, you get to like play the cutscene or the important mission or main story mission, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, that's basically what it's doing, right?
That's interesting.
I mean,
I'm not sure, because I just thought like it just
need more.
skips. Yeah, I need more. I need more details, because to me it just sounds like it'll just not have gameplay. You just watch the story. But then for that, like, A, if you're paying for that, why would you pay for it? And B, why do that when I could just watch a video on YouTube and not get the game if I was going to ultimately do that?
I need to see how that works in like actual, in the actual games, if it comes out, whenever it comes out, because Sony has a lot of patents that we don't see anything from.
True, but, very true.
I don't know. Like, I can understand where there are situations where you just want to skip. Like, let's say you played the game already, and my favorite aspect of certain games is when they have the forced walking sections. I'd love to skip through all that bullshit.
That's a great point.
When you want to, like, if you want to speed run a game or some shit, like, I'm thinking of like what I would use it for, but under normal circumstances, what would the majority of people use a feature like that for? They'd have to sell it. Obviously, if it's a new feature, they have to give us a reason. Show me it I need context. I need to know what the fuck it's actually doing. Because it's a very vague, vague explanation of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I just say, I just want to do boss fights. I'm skipping everything in between. So then what's the point of, why don't you just make the game about boss fights? Why do you even play the game?
Is this to address the people who like saying like, oh, the game is too hard? So Sony's like, well, here, if you pay a little bit extra.
That's so silly, and that's such a bad precedent to set. Oh no.
I know, but I'm just giving you all the examples it could be, right? I mean,
wait, hold on.
That's what I initially thought.
Grindy games can be less exciting and less interesting to play. Sony acknowledges. Some players might find a video game less exciting to play during a portion of the game in which the players are required to perform repetitive tasks. Other players might be less interested in playing a portion of a video game that involves a quest they do not like. Then just oh my god, bro.
I mean,
look,
like, okay. Yeah.
I understand it. I actually understand it. But this is such a silly thing to start. I think that's lame as hell. Because that's part of the damn game. Like, if you don't like grindy games, you should know what you're getting into. Don't play the grindy game. The autoplay system would theoretically make such games less of a chore to play. I guess, man.
I'm curious to what games they have in mind.
More hand holding, bro. And I don't
as if we needed more.
More hand holding.
I just feel like it's like, bro, listen, back in the day, like if you couldn't beat a game, like you don't beat the game. Sometimes games have challenges.
Exactly. Like we already have games. That's oh man.
I don't think I see this as a difficulty
being an
thing,
RPG
though.
fan. It really sucks. It's not a difficulty thing at all. It's just it does well, to be fair, grindy could be confused. Could be level grinding. Hard.
Yeah.
But I don't it sucks being an RPG fan because you just see RPGs go through this up and down, this roller coaster of shit because they want new players to play, but they also want to acknowledge the old players or whatever, the people that like that aspect of the game. So it's like, what the fuck do you even do? Like as a fan, I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it, but I don't know, man. That just makes me think, okay, so I'm level 10. This boss, I should at least be level 15 or 20 to fight this boss. I don't feel like grinding. I just want to fight the boss. Auto skip or whatever the fuck. Get a few levels. That's fine. I understand that because let's be real, right? Final Fantasy X, the remaster, Final Fantasy 12, the remasters. I didn't feel like grinding again, but that's because I already beat those games when I was younger. I already played those games, right? So I don't feel like grinding again for fucking hours just so I can body everything in the game. But that doesn't mean that I want my hand held though. Like that's a feature in a remaster that you don't have to use, and this is probably going to be a feature that you don't have to use. So it's whatever, as long as it's not forced on me.
Yeah, but the other side of it is it's like, okay, you want to grind for levels, but what if there's a boss that you legit can't beat, and then now it's going to be like, oh, you just be able to skip the boss. I don't know, man.
I don't think it. Some people, I guess, maybe there would be a situation where you can use it to skip the boss, but I would hopefully it would mean, oh yeah, let me fast forward. Let me just set it to, you know how when we play Grand Blue Relink, and you could just set it to auto, and it would just farm the same boss like over and over again for you. Like that's what I'm thinking, and I would love that. That'd be great because I wouldn't feel like doing that shit myself.
Yeah,
but it depends on how far they take it.
But yeah, it just depends how far they take it, and I don't know. It's a weird balancing act, right? Because if it's too far in the other direction, it's like, well, what's even the point of playing the game?
We already have games. This is why we have different types of games for different types of people. Like for people that want to do shit like that and grind, there are games that exist. There are for people that don't want to do that. There are games that exist, and you should know if like Grand Blue. I know hella people that don't want to feel like grinding the sigils and grinding the fucking, the whatever the weapon was called, the fucking the legendary weapon or whatever. People didn't want to do that and grind for that. But Grand Blue as a game, that's the game. You know what I mean? Like that's part of the game.
Well, also they programmed. They also programmed that, which is smart on their part to be able to like. But it was smart enough where like, obviously. If it's someone your level or like a certain boss like and you're of level, you can't auto play like you can, but like it doesn't work as well because you have
to set your party up in a way to make it work properly. But
exactly,
there's still effort that needs to be put in there. But
yes,
such a weird precedent to set because games already do this. The devs are already doing this with the games. Like if they want to make a game that's accessible for people that don't want to grind, there are games that exist. Right? RPGs have already gotten less grindy over the years. What's the last RPG that you've had to grind in? I don't remember, and I've played a lot of them, and there haven't been many RPGs where I felt stuck because I didn't grind enough. So I don't know. I don't know, man.
I wouldn't want to write it off as completely stupid though, because I do think it's another one of those things where it could be huge implementation for those that may be disabled, and it presents another accessibility option, right, for those that
I don't think it's stupid at all. I just think it's interesting to have that as like a PlayStation feature for every game. Because
let me put it to you this way. Here's a way that we all would have probably used it if it exists. Doing the Mary Jane missions in Spider-Man.
No, I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have. After the first time? After the first time, yeah. After the first time doing it, yeah, but I wouldn't have skipped it because I like experiencing the game. Like, why would I play? Like, I just go watch the game. If I don't want to do part of the game that I'm buying, like.
Yeah, and you know that's why sometimes, like, if I look at a game, I'm like, oh, I like this about the game, but I don't like, and I kind of wear the pros and cons. Like, I kind of want to see the story.
Sure, but I still want to play the game. Like, at first I'm playing the game, I'm not gonna skip it. Like, if I was replaying the game to get like trophies or some shit, then yeah, that'd be great, right? But that's the only way I would use it, is if I'm replaying a game for like the second or third time, and I don't want to see this shit anymore, then I'll just let it do whatever. If I'm grinding for trophies or whatever, then cool. But like I said, the only thing that I really see this for is if you're doing something super, like they said, if you're doing something super repetitive and grindy, which a lot of games do not require you to do nowadays. So
I'm just curious which games they have in mind when developing this. Like, what are they thinking? Because they have to have some games as an example in mind to say, like, oh, okay, if someone played this game, like because someone had the bright idea that they were just like, if I played this game, I would like some kind of feature to just autoplay this part for me so that I don't have to do it, right?
Yeah, the only games I could see that in is like older games. Like, look, I mean, I got into an argument with somebody like a while ago about FF10 and FF12 having the speed up features, and I'm like, you must have not played these games back in the day if you think that having the speed up feature is like a cheat or well, it is a cheat in the literal sense, right? But if you think it's not helpful for a game like that, for those types of games, you're on something. Because I remember specifically, there's a very specific part in FF12 that you can grind, and doing that shit with the speed up option was amazing. I was like, I wish I had this when I was a kid playing this game. So in that situation, I'm like, yeah, shit, give it to me. But I don't want it to be like a thing in every game, a mandatory thing in every game, where I'm just gonna skip this, I'm just gonna skip that, right? Whatever. Like, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, man. You know, I don't know. I feel like I'm okay with it if there's rules attached to it. Like, I feel like if it's your second playthrough playing the game, fine. Blah 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 blah. I don't think it should be okay to autoplay the game if you haven't even beaten it first. I don't know. I'm kind of not okay with it.
I'm gonna try to make a couple of different arguments for it, right? Let's say you don't want to traverse across the fucking open world or whatever. We have fast travel in games now, right? Let's say you don't want to grind for levels or whatever. Games are not that hard anymore, but you have to grind for levels. Let's say I think that's it. Let's say yeah, I think those are the best two examples. And they've already been solved with fast travel, right? You could skip cutscenes and shit. Every game you could skip cutscenes now for the most part, right? There's a lot of stuff that has already been like quality of life things that have been added to games in recent years that kind of already do that. But hey, if you want to give me a speed up option for when I want to grind out my RPGs, then sure, I'll take it. I don't mind being OP. I love that shit. People are like, I don't want to grind. Well, actually, no, I can't say that because I'm the kind of person like an FF7 remake and rebirth, right? Like, I like just doing shit. I like going in raw. I don't grind shit. I want to get my ass beat. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It works. It works both ways. I would use it in certain circumstances, and other circumstances I wouldn't. So I mean, it's not a bad feature to have. Like I said, it depends on implementation, and if it's something that works the way we think it works. And I don't know. We'll see. They said it's what, AI or some shit like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I think there's a lot of like survival games now too. So maybe like, what if it's just grinding, like farming wood? You know what I mean? Like for like Power World or something like that. You know, like stuff like that is like also kind of like just medial tasks that are just tedious.
Then you add something like that. That's system wide. That's just gonna make devs lazy. Like, I don't know. Whatever. I guess.
I feel like you're putting the obligation on devs to put that in the games, though, right? Because
they wouldn't have to.
It should be because they know what kind of game they're making, so they should be the ones to make that decision. Like if I was a Grand Blue Relink dev, like they already did, I would give people the option to do like the auto farming and shit like that like they did. You know what I mean? So at that point, the devs know what kind of game they're making. If they want to implement that shit, cool. Like whatever. I'm not against it, but like I said, I'm gonna hold judgment until I see what it is.
I'm just curious, like of its use. I'm just curious to see like the examples, what it's used, and then to see what kind of games come out with those things that could possibly use
That's
it
like
for.
playing Elden Ring and just letting the game play itself. Like,
yeah,
nah,
man.
Bro.
Yeah, no. There's just there's just certain things that I'm scared of. You know, I don't know.
You're gonna have people. The new
getting rewarded for being ass. Yeah, I don't know,
man. You're gonna have streamers and YouTubers saying, "Yeah, look, I no hit this boss." Meanwhile, some AI doing wild shit.
Yup.
Like I don't think the AI will ever be that good.
That's very strange to say when AI.
I don't know.
I don't know, bro.
With playing games, maybe I don't know. But also, like again, like if it's non-essential parts of the game, it'll potentially like its implementation can say like, hey, it's just turning itself off. Or if people are really that bothered of achievements, you could just turn off trophies when using it. Like if that's the thing.
That's what it should. That's perfect. Actually,
I mean, that's what it should.
I definitely don't think
if it's something that's letting you beat the game like without playing it, then absolutely,
yeah. I think as far as like if there's achievements and something attached to it, then I think it's like you get the trophy for beating the game on it. It should be attached to like an easy mode kind of thing, like story mode. You know how some RPGs have story mode, so it's just another. Like I said, I don't want to gatekeep people if they don't have accessibility or they're just not, maybe like what if it's like a young kid who's playing a game and the part is too difficult for him. You know what I mean? Like little kids are little kids. I get it.
I get
Listen, I had to hold the L. Yes, I had to hold the L when I was a little kid
but
playing
it's a different
NES
age.
games.
But even so, it being a different age, like people are complaining about easy shit nowadays being too hard.
Yeah.
So
of course,
we have enough hand holding in games nowadays. We don't need more.
Yeah.
But as gaming gets more popular, they're gonna keep adding more, right? Is because we want games to be movies now. We don't want to play games anymore, apparently. So whatever, dude.
Interactive.
Just as long as that shit don't affect the shit that I'm playing, whatever. Y'all can have fun. Because apparently, I don't play games. All I play is COD and Fortnite, apparently. So, have fun with that. Like, which is hilarious to me. But anyway, that's besides the point. I don't need games to be easier. They're already easy. I'm already bored with the majority. Why do you think I get so hyped when like a FromSoft game comes out, when like Elden Ring comes out, or a Souls game comes out? Fucking Stellar Blade. These games that aren't, I just mash one button throughout the entire game and just, what I mean? Why do you think I get so hyped when those games come out? Because we have enough games that are just hand-holdy, easy-ass shit, fast travel everywhere. People are complaining about Dragon's Dogma because the fast travel is jank. Like, man, shit is already... We're at the point... Remember back in the day where every game was hard, right? A lot of games were hard. But nowadays, it's like the hard games are the anomalies, bro. Like, that's why it's crazy. Man, remember when Demon Souls, when the Soul series first dropped? That's why it was so like popular, because we were moving into that age where everything was just becoming more and more accessible, movie like easy. Then the Souls games dropped. We were like, oh shit, we're back. This feels like gaming again. And then that fucking genre took off. So whatever. Hey. If you suck, you suck. It's not my problem. I don't suck. I want my hard shit.
Yeah, and that doesn't necessarily mean that implementing this is going to take that away from you.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that's why I say like let it exist. I couldn't care less.
This, but yeah, as long as it's an option, as long as it's not too crazy. Because let's be real, even someone like me, who likes the hard stuff, if I have the option to kind of like work a little less, I might take it. You know what I mean? If it's there. If it's tempting, you know what I mean? Oh, who knows, man?
Look, I'll tell you right now. At the rate of my gaming, if I have an option where I could do some cleaning on the side and have the game grind something for me that's a little task, maybe I might use that too, right? Like, it's like, let me take care of my chores that I have to do and then hop back to the game at an important part.
If it's
right?
stupid
It just
shit,
depends on what it's skipping out on for you. You know what I mean? Like, the key word in the whole patent is non-essential, like gameplay parts. So I think it's up to devs to know like what that is and cutting that down.
What's non-essential?
And what that means, right? What's non-essential?
I
don't like missing out on shit, but if it's something where it's like, again, like if it's moving from point A to point B, no fast travel, maybe I'll do it. But if there's no fast travel, yeah.
Let's be real. Every game has fast travel.
They do now.
Yeah. Maybe this feature would have been crazy and revolutionary like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But like I said, it depends on how it's implemented. We don't know anything about it yet, so hard to talk about it.
It's gonna be something that is heavily criticized whenever it is dropped. Even if they work on it or they don't, there's a high possibility that they may just drop this and they're just patenting the idea. But even then, it will be criticized, much like the devs. Japan exec criticizing the review board for allowing Stellar Blade, but not Dead Space. This is an EA Japan executive.
EA Japan, wow.
Japan. Yeah. Well, Stellar Blade's out, guys, or coming out. Reviews are out. Game is looking good. Play it. Check it out for yourself. But yeah, this is an EA Japan exec that made headlines because they apparently the review board did not allow Dead Space in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I agree with him.
I don't, because I'm pretty sure there's literal purposeful dismemberment in Dead Space.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure that's why. Like, I don't think that, I think I haven't seen it. There might be, I could be wrong. I haven't obviously played the game yet, but I don't think there's literal like limb cutting off, fucking picking and choosing to cut off a motherfucker's leg, head, dick. You know what I'm saying? Arms. Like, I don't think that that's an option in Stellar Blade. And we don't know the censorship fucking laws or whatever. The rating board in Japan might be completely, like, you already know they're very strict about shit like that anyway. So I'm pretty sure that's why. I don't know.
Yeah, I take this as more of like a tongue-in-cheek kind of thing, where it's just like, because it's two completely different things. He's poking fun at the whole thing that everyone's been arguing about.
In Stellar Blade. I think there
is.
If there is, it's definitely not at the level of Dead Space. Dead Space is a pretty gory game if you think about it.
Yeah, but what do you do? I don't know. But they couldn't sell Dead Space at all over there in Japan? Like, not even for like adults?
It was banned.
Yeah, it was banned.
Damn, I don't know, man.
Which sucks. Like, that does, I'm not saying that doesn't suck. It sucks whenever a region is cut out of a game entirely, of experiencing a game, especially like one as good as Dead Space. We're not talking about like the quality of the games here. It's just more so like, I think it's just like you're comparing apples and oranges here, right? Like, if you're comparing it because it's like, oh, they allowed this, but they didn't allow this. It's like, well, yeah, they didn't allow Dead Space. And
that's very weird to say, though, because that was also over a decade ago.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, or do they mean the recent one?
The new one.
The remake.
They need the recent one.
Was the original one banned? I'm pretty sure, right? It would make sense if the original game was banned.
I don't know. I can't say.
Actually,
I can't speak for it.
And I can't say.
If the new one was banned, I would just assume that the old one was.
Yes.
And if it was the old one, that shit was how many years ago?
I don't know. 15,
okay, so hold on.
10.
Let me see. I'm gonna actually look that up because 2023 Dead Space was banned. But what about the new one? What about the old one? I mean. What year did that come out? It was like 2000 fucking...
2007?
Yeah, that's an old-ass game. 2008, I believe.
Yeah.
Let's see. Did it release in Japan?
The Wayback Machine.
It did not release in Japan.
No.
Wow.
I mean, it would make sense. That's
15
consistency.
years ago. Why was this game banned in Japan? Yeah, it was. The original game was banned. Damn, that's crazy. Wow.
Yeah, if that was banned, it would make complete sense that the remake would be banned. It's more high fidelity graphics. It's improved. It's basically the same game with minor changes as far as like gameplay goes, and it made it better for sure. Like, the remake was better all around, but like
So here's a quote by Nagushi. He said, "The Stellar Blade demo was really fun and absolutely action packed. However, Sero, you denied our Dead Space a rating because it included cross sections of severed body parts and internal organs, but here we are have both cross sections and insides on display passed off with a 0D rating. I find this hard to accept.
Maybe
so,
it's
I don't know.
Maybe it's frequency. I don't know because it happens. It's literally the game in Dead Space. Like I don't know. I'm not.
It's literally part of the gameplay in Dead Space. Like in order to kill members, you have to dismember them in certain. Yeah.
Like you're changing the angle of fire to dismember.
Like there's a focus on the dismemberment, where Celeblade is not necessarily a focus.
You know what? While you're playing Celebrate, keep an eye on that, and maybe we could come back. Because okay, let's just argue for the sake that it's comparable.
Mm-hmm.
Is he wrong?
No, if it's comparable, then no. I mean, he's not wrong at all. But the thing is, right? Dead Space was an old game. Yeah, the newer remake came out, whatever, they banned that too. But Dead Space came out a long time ago. And let's be real, bro. Capcom's probably like, yo, we don't want no Dead Space over here. Resident Evil only. Like,
no, but you know what? Fair. To be fair, there is dismembered in Resident Evil.
Exactly.
That's
we want Resident Evil.
But I think in Japan they cut that out. But here they just leave it uncensored, right? Mm-hmm. I think.
Well, that's
not 100%.
That's why it was a big deal that Celebrate wasn't censored in any region, like at all.
And it may be a case of some kind of potential censorship that could be happening. Like we don't know if the Japan version doesn't have any dismemberment, does it? Like
no,
on full release
at all.
It's not censored at all. But like, they censor things like blood now. Like they have things in the settings that you could change, or if they have the settings. But like, you can't do that in Dead Space. You can't not take out the dismemberment and have the bodies just kind of like it's dismembered, but they're still in the model, the physical model. It's attached. You know what I mean? Like
unless we're in like the boardroom meetings, that's very hard to talk about because I'm sure there's some loophole that certain games can take to not get censored in Japan or whatever. I'm sure there's something that we just don't know. So like, because if it's like you said, if it's comparable, there's something that we don't know. There's some loophole or somebody, or they got on somebody's good side or some shit. Like we don't know. Who knows?
Or maybe the several people were distracted by the pretty model.
Exactly. Japan loves that shit. So
yeah. So they're like, wait, what? Yeah. What dismembered limbs? What are you talking about? I'm just doing my combo.
Yeah, if I see ass, I don't care about anything else.
Caucasian spaceman dismembering aliens? No.
Yep.
Hot waifu? Yes. In there.
It could be.
It would work
just
on
that.
me.
That's superficial. It could literally just be.
Sign it off. Here you go.
Yeah.
Perfect. Ready for sale.
I mean, yeah, because there was no way Japan wasn't going to play this game.
Right?
Yeah. It's an interesting topic.
Damn,
though.
it's out
something
right now.
to keep an eye on. Yeah. And it is out now. Literally right now as we're talking. Go play it. Go enjoy it.
All right, guys. See ya. It's just
not you.
I mean, well, listen to the rest of this
not
person, not you.
God damn it, dude.
But yeah, I'll have to wait a year and a half for that.
Yeah.
But you guys
shut the fuck up.
And what everybody may no longer be enjoying is Watch Dogs. Apparently, there's a strong rumor going around that Watch Dogs is over, and it is due to the failure of Watch Dogs Legion. This is not confirmed by Ubisoft. This is a rumor.
But it's a surprise.
But it wouldn't surprise me if this was the truth and it was a 100% leak or on point.
I think this is a safe bet. I don't know. Like, I know this is just a rumor, but yeah, they need, especially Ubisoft needs to make a lot of money right now, and they can't bank another failure like that. But to be fair, it was their fault because the game didn't even launch for multiplayer. Because I remember me and Freak specifically being excited to play the game, and then they didn't even have multiplayer ready.
Which one was that? Was that
the one that's being blamed? Legion. Yes.
Legion.
Yeah,
Legion. Yeah. So, because remember me and you, Freak, we were like, yeah, we're excited, we're gonna play it, and then it just never happened. They were just like, so is multiplayer come? And then they never announced anything. They never updated anything. It was just horribly. They didn't follow through. So like, honestly, a lot of it's their fault. I don't think, either the devs or Ubisoft or whoever or marketing, I don't know who to blame, maybe all of them. But yeah, I was totally ready to play the game, but because of the lack of updates, and even in the marketing, they advertised the multiplayer from the jump. So how are you gonna advertise multiplayer from the jump, But then when the game launches, not have multiplayer. I don't know.
The game released in, I believe it was June. It was June of that year. I think it was. What was it? Yeah, I think it was.
I thought it was November.
Like October, November or something, bro. And then the multiplayer was supposed to come out in like December.
No, there's.
Yeah, and it never did.
I think it came out. That's why I think it came out. It came out a lot earlier because I think the multiplayer was at like 3 months.
Came out in October.
October. Yeah, so the multiplayer was 3 months off, and then it got delayed. The multiplayer didn't even launch on December.
But it never launched.
No, it launched, but I just don't think it launched when they wanted it to launch. I don't think it was ready, and it's just like I didn't play. I played the first Watch Dogs. I was one of the people who bought into the hype, right? Got it when it came out. Didn't hate the game. I did enjoy it for what it was, okay. But definitely was not what they had. It was one of those Ubisoft classic
not
Ubisoft
what they
bait
promised.
And switch, right? Yeah, the class. It was one of the initial starters of the bait and switch Ubisoft aspects of it, right? And then Watch Dogs 2 came out, and apparently it was really good. I never played that one, but apparently that was one that got a lot of people's faith back into the franchise of Watch Dogs, and a lot of people liked the aspect of all the members that were part of the team. I don't think they were playable, but I think that just having the team aspect of it. So I think that's what gave them the idea for Legion to just like, oh, let's just have it. You be able to recruit anybody off the street, and then of course that plays into a big part of the multiplayer. But if you advertise that, and then you don't launch with it, people were canceling their pre-orders when they heard, oh, it's not launching with the multiplayer. Cancel the pre-order.
Makes sense.
I was gonna buy the game. I was looking at purchasing it. I was like, you know what? I will absolutely buy this to play the co-op multiplayer. Oh, it's not launching with the game. I'm going to wait now until it launches because then the game is likely going to be on sale. So I think it's a little unfair for them to put the blame on this when that was a hardcore mistake.
The blame is the game not living up to what it was supposed to live up to. Now, obviously, we're quote unquote Ubisoft shills. We're sponsored by Ubisoft according to fucking comments, right? Even though we constantly shit on Ubisoft every chance we get, but we're sponsored. I would love to get sponsored by a company that we shit on 24/7. But regardless, I didn't buy it, right? I know I didn't buy the first Watch Dogs because I'm not the biggest fan. Like people say, every Ubisoft game is Ubisoft games are usually a wait and see. I think the last game and one of the only games that I bought day one from Ubisoft was Rainbow Six Siege, because it's a multiplayer game, it's a shooter, all the homies are buying it, and because I was a huge fan of Rainbow Six Vegas 1 and 2, right? So I was like, oh my god, another Rainbow Six Vegas follow-up or a sequel, whatever. I bought that. That was the last game that I ever bought from Ubisoft, I think, on release, right? Because after that, we had The Division, Watch Dogs, what the fuck else? We had the Ghost Recon,
Wildlands, Badlands.
We had a couple of them. Yeah, we had a couple of them. We had the Splinter Cell. That game was decent. I forgot what the last one was, but that one was decent.
Blacklist? Blacklist?
Yeah.
Or Conviction? Was it Blacklist? One of the two.
Nah, Conviction was old. That was on 360 fucking PS3. But the latest one was probably,
I think it was Blacklist.
Whatever you said. Yeah, Blacklist. So when it comes to Ubisoft has this habit. They, like you said, they were the first ones, not the first ones, but they were one of the main culprits of, they show you a game, the game is ready to come out. It looks nothing like what they initially showed you. So that turns me off the majority of the time. I always get turned off by that because I'm like, I was hyped for this initial, vision of the game, and then we get this. Like, nah, I'm not a fan of that shit. And then the concept of Watch Dogs was cool.
Yeah, right? It was super cool. Like the
back of my head, I was like, I don't know, bro. This shit ain't gonna work, man. The first game, I'm sure, like, it had its issues, but I heard that it was decent enough.
It was okay. It was okay, but it was.
Yeah, it was decent enough to prove like the naysayer was wrong, right? I still didn't want to play it. Watch Dogs 2, I was kind of excited to play that game, and then it came out, and I was like, this kind of looks alright, man. But I never got around to it. Then Legion came out, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, look, y'all were hyped for it. I had no interest in it because it looked like that was the beginning of the era of the co-op fucking when I saw that multiplayer, I was like, this looks like the co-op fucking looter shooter formula, blah blah blah, that we have now, the typical 4-player fucking shit. Like that was the beginning of that for me, where I was like, I'm not interested in this. But like I said, the concept is cool, but I always feel like they never lived up to that hype, like the potential of that concept. I mean, it's a hard concept to live up to, right? Just being able to hack everybody, do all this wild shit, have all these, dynamic moments in the game. But that's hard to live up to.
So
and
I was very
lived up to it.
Yeah, and I was very similar to Freak's feelings about Watch Dogs. But the thing is, for me, the whole marketing thing was about this multiplayer. It just made it out to be this major part of the game. If the multiplayer wasn't ready, why don't you delay the game?
Yeah, I think that was a Legion specific problem. I personally think that the series would have had an issue regardless of if that.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that definitely didn't help.
That game could have definitely, if that multiplayer launched, it was godlike. That definitely catapulted the game, right? The series, right? But
I think so.
I think that they should have solidified that series first before they started trying to promise things they couldn't fucking keep promises on. Like that series could have been huge, bro.
Yeah,
but I don't know. That was also the Ubisoft that was annualizing Assassin's Creed. They were trying to put out fucking 50 games a fucking year. We forgot that the Division was also a victim of the we show you this and then this is not what you get at launch.
One of the biggest ones.
Now look, the same thing happened to the Division 2, right? I heard Division 2 was good, right? But there were so many people that just got burned by the first game that it was like, I'm not interested, right? Like the Division 1, I got it and I was like, this is so fucking boring, right? And then the Division 2 came out and I actually enjoyed the bit of it that I played, but at that point I just didn't care because I felt burned already. I was like, this is typical Ubisoft bullshit. So I don't know.
Especially when you have a shady reputation like Ubisoft,
exactly.
You have to. And here's the thing that I don't think either the upper management or whoever's in charge doesn't understand. You need to make a great first impression, first step, boom. There should be no BS, no blah, blah, blah. You say a game has multiplayer, when it launches, it should have multiplayer, or it should have a single player game, or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, there's just too much doubt in the ether about Ubisoft that you guys can't risk, trying to salvage shit at the last second
actually, yeah. Now that I think about it, wasn't Ubisoft one of the originals that doing that shit too? They would launch a game and it would be so ass, and then you'd hear about it like 2 years later, like, yo man, Division 2 is amazing now. Yo, this game is amazing now. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, damn, it's a little too late for that now. So and honestly, it's just like the way you salvage that is you knock it out of the park with the sequel. Like, you take all the lessons you learned from the first game and just implement that shit in the sequel, which I'm sure is what they did with Watch Dogs 2, right? Which is why it was considered, better than the first game or whatever. I'm sure they did that. But was it enough? I don't know. But
because
Legion comes out and just fucking.
But the thing is, if you burn someone on the first of the game, that's so hard to come back from. You know what I mean? It's different, but it's even different if you knocked it out of the park in the first one and the second one you were lazy with it, and then like say you were making a third one, and then that one should be on point, or like, you know what I mean? But like that after that first one, like if you get a bad, it's like, well, why I'm gonna go in two, and then like I don't know what happened to one, and I don't want to play one. Like like there's like a whole thing to consider when
I'm very
mess it up on the first.
If I'm gonna get into a sequel, I have to play the first game, but I don't want to play the first game because I don't like the first game.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know.
Yeah, so it's just
Ubisoft games will forever be cursed until
game developers. This is an important lesson for game developers, bro. Like, if it's the first in your series, you have to knock it out of the park. If you're struggling for money, I would delay it. I would take out a loan. I would do whatever I need to do because that first impression is everything.
I'm playing Stellar Blade right now, and it's kind of crazy that you talk about first impression. The first impression of this game is amazing. Yeah. No performance issues. We got what they promised. The game doesn't look downgraded or whatever. Yeah, it might not look as. Actually, no. I think the first trailer of this game looked. I think it panned out. Like how we expected it to. They didn't fucking It's not a completely different looking game than what we got at first. Bro, do you remember the first Rainbow Six Siege trailer? That is not what we got.
I do. That is not what we got. I mean, we got the idea of the gameplay. It was more of a storyboard.
That's great.
We got the gameplay, but
this was an era.
That's another game that was
getting
a year later. Siege was like the best game ever.
Yeah,
because
I loved it.
When on launch, people hated it.
But a competitive game is different.
And then later on,
because a competitive game can have peaks and valleys. Like a competitive game could be shit at its launch and then become the best game of all time later, and then be shit again later.
Siege continues to be a popular game now, and you know
it goes up and down.
Through another peak and valley.
Popularity. Yeah,
of course.
So a competitive game is different when it comes to the games that we usually know Ubisoft for, which is like their co-op, their single player kind of. You know what I'm saying? All they need to do is just bring Splinter Cell back, make that shit good again. Just bring back. Well, I don't want to say bring back Prince of Persia because they don't know what they want to do with Prince of Persia, right?
They're doing another 2D game.
The new Assassin's Creed game seems like it's gonna be good, but Ubisoft just became an Assassin's Creed machine after a while.
And even that seems like they lost the identity with that, right? Like,
yeah, they did the same thing Activision did, where they just annualized the shit and then just forgot. They were making so much money off of annualizing that one game that everything else just felt like second thought to them. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like Ubisoft is in a prime position right now to not be ass. You know what I mean? They've put out a lot of games that seemed risky, like that Prince of Persia game, like that side-scrolling Prince of Persia game that was actually good, but you know what? People didn't buy it because it sucks, man. Because on one hand, I don't feel bad, but on the other hand, I do, because it's like when the devs do take a risk, nobody wants to fucking buy the game, right? So then why wouldn't they just keep annualizing games and just fucking shoving out bullshit? When people are gonna buy that bullshit, right? People aren't gonna buy the new thing that you took a risk on. So it's hard, man.
They poison the well too much.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. When I first saw that Prince of Persia game, I was like, wow, this looks cool. This looks different than what Ubisoft has been giving us. It looks good. It came out, it was good, but it doesn't sell.
Yeah. The Avatar game came out okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I'm sure that's
it's that sold well. But like that, but I'm just saying, like, as hard as we are at Ubisoft, we give credit where credit's due, right?
To be fair, Prince of Persia probably didn't sell because Prince of Persia's been out of the limelight for so long that people don't even know what the fuck. The majority of these new gamers probably don't even know what the fuck Prince of Persia is. Their introduction to Ubisoft is Assassin's Creed, so they should have released like a hype ass AAA Prince of Persia game to bring Prince of Persia back, but they didn't want to take that risk. Like,
it seems like they're still moving forward with the franchise, though. They're releasing another game, another 2D game in the same vein, same like kind of storytelling.
That doesn't make any sense to me, though. I don't know. It's just like you just released like a Metrovania Prince of Persia game just for you to release a similar one that's rogue. I don't know. I think that's
this next one is also from the devs who made Dead Cells, right?
I think
that's the story behind it. But
I get that. But then you should know, like, you're Ubisoft. These projects are coming out. So why would you pair one literally right after the other? Like, there's not even space. It's like they're coming out within the same year.
I don't know. I feel like Ubisoft right now is just desperate.
Yeah. I think they need Prince
to do
of
with
Persia.
every game, like they do. Like they're doing Assassin's Creed right now, and taking a break. Take a break.
I think with Prince of Persia, they're probably pushing whatever universe they're building for that franchise right now, right? Whatever, like kind of like reboot, because it was a new person.
No one's gonna care because no one's buying the game.
Yeah, but then the next, I guess, main game is probably gonna be something within that. So they're
I don't know. They just need to have a whole new game, whole new Prince of Persia game. Like, actually, they don't even need to have a new Prince of Persia game. Like, just if you want it to be Assassin's Creed, just make a new good Assassin's Creed. If you want it to be Prince of Persia, make a new good game. Just make the game good, and people will fucking just stop half-assing shit, man. That's like the main lesson that these fucking devs should learn. Stop half-assing shit, bro. I don't want to keep sucking Celeblade dry, but like, this is an entirely new IP, bro, by a dev that we know nothing about. Yeah, they made a mobile game. Congratulations, but other than that, we knew nothing about these devs, right? And if they could come out the gate, make a good game, polished, right? Despite how you feel about it, whatever. The game has there's from what I've seen, there's rarely any bugs, no performance issues. The game is what we expected the game to be. Just make a game like that and make the people that spend the money on it happy, and then you'll be good. Like, stop launching bullshit games that the servers don't work. The game is buggy as shit, which we know Ubisoft games are very known for being fucking buggy and glitchy as shit at launch, like, or just straight up broken. Like, just make a fucking game, dude. What is going on?
Yeah,
that's the main thing. Like, just make a fucking functional game, and you'll be fine.
And to bring it back, rest in peace, Watch Dogs. I don't think it's coming back anytime soon.
I'm not surprised. Like, I know there's a bunch of huge Watch Dogs fans, sure, but hey, man, rest in peace.
Well, it is still a rumor. Maybe they're just putting it down and not working on it. Maybe they'll reboot the franchise.
They're focusing on too much.
Yeah.
Which they clearly can't do.
let's learn the lessons. Don't announce things if you aren't ready to launch them. I know you want shareholders, I know you want to garner hype, but don't promote a game on multiplayer and then not have that feature be available at launch. It would have been great if after 2 months of launch game, you then started promoting a new feature that was going to be released to get people more excited about it, as opposed to
I'm sure the game was ready. Just not that aspect of it.
Exactly.
Which is
and
why
that would have
I don't know why
gotten
they marketed
people
that.
more into it and marketing in that way. But lessons need to be learned. Hopefully it's not canceled. Hopefully the rumor is that, maybe they'll just put it down for a bit. Maybe they'll come and revisit the franchise and do a fresh reboot. And we'll have a sick-ass Watch Dogs game later down the line. But you know what is canceled? BlizzCon. BlizzCon this year, unfortunately, just announced today that it is confirmed canceled. I mean, didn't they cancel it also? They can't, because I know they canceled it during the pandemic, so this is not the first time BlizzCon's been canceled. Did they cancel
I don't remember.
2022?
I don't remember, know, but I know. Go ahead.
I don't think it's that big of a deal, because what have we really gotten from BlizzCon outside of, like,
that's what I'm saying.
Diablo
I was gonna say that
Overwatch updates, fucking maybe a WoW expansion or something. Like, we don't really get nothing. We don't really get much. Look, the event itself, like BlizzCon itself, is it's not like to me, but for me personally, it's not like the other events where we just watch it because for the game announcements. Don't get me wrong. No. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of people that watch BlizzCon for the game announcements, but BlizzCon, the event itself, is the draw.
Yeah, I always thought BlizzCon was cool as hell. Like, I thought their celebration of the games was great, but they always had something to promote and sell.
Exactly.
And this year, it doesn't seem like they don't have anything.
I mean, they also just got scooped up, so it's kind of like maybe they're in like a transitional period where they just can't do it. Who knows?
Or maybe they don't have anything in the can to announce just yet. So
but that's why I said the game announcements is usually not the biggest part of BlizzCon. So them canceling it I don't think it has anything to do with that. Like, like the game, people don't watch BlizzCon for the game announcement. Like,
I just know I feel like outside looking in, it just feels like every time they do the BlizzCon, there's always kind of like negative.
Yeah, because Blizzard fans are crazy. And Blizzard isn't the best company on the planet, but the thing is, Blizzard fans will never be happy either. So it is what it is.
They do a lot of things that people have questioned with BlizzCon, right? Because they have the BlizzCon virtual ticket, right, where you get certain in-game items and certain items, but you actually pay for like a ticket to watch the event, but the event is obviously like streamed live.
Well, that's not. I mean, every Final Fantasy Fan Fest does that, so it's like that's not like out of the norm thing.
I think that's fine. I don't have an issue with that. I just think like some people, people love to complain about shit when anything is monetized in some kind of way, right? Because they expect everything for free. But
everybody does that.
Yeah, but and I think they would absolutely, if they wanted to put it on, I think if they had stuff that they could announce, right? They could have announced like they've got to be working on something for Diablo 4 next season, expansion, something. They got to have some World of Warcraft potential news that they could have put storyboards up, whatever the next expansion is for that. Overwatch 2, they could have showed the trailer for a new hero, done a whole like tournament or something like that. They had stuff that they could do. Hearthstone was always releasing shit, so it's just something more is going on. Yeah, they're probably just going through a whole restructuring, rebuilding phase, and organizing this event and trying to put it on was probably too much for them at this time.
Yeah, they did.
What was their reason? What was the specific reason?
Here, I'll just read it. After careful consideration over the last year, we at Blizzard made the decision not to hold BlizzCon in 2024. The decision was not made lightly, as BlizzCon remains a very special event for all of us, and we know many of you look forward to it. While we're approaching this year differently and we have explored different event formats in the past, rest assured that we are just as excited as ever to bring BlizzCon back in future years.
They didn't really say anything specific. So
but I just think today is an awkward year. Today's an awkward year, and they didn't have people.
I'll just chalk it up to. I do feel like they're going through like a restructuring. They just got bought. They just got scooped up. Like I said, right? They're probably going through a bunch of shit. Who knows? Like, that doesn't mean that it won't be back. It's not like E3 where that shit's gone.
They said it'll be back.
Exactly. So. Yeah.
Well, E3 was just denying its denying its
that's just not going anywhere. People love that shit.
Yeah. This is a very different thing. People love cons. Cons have never been more popular, I don't think.
Yeah.
In general.
BlizzCon's been around for a long time too. That's one of like the original cons when they started having it. People get married at BlizzCon.
Fucking Warcraft players, bro. They be carrying that shit.
I like watching BlizzCon because I used to play Hearthstone for a number of years.
I'm probably gonna get more into WoW before the next one.
Yeah,
I might.
It's never been a thing.
I was heavy into Overwatch, and they blew up. They fucking Overwatch was huge at fucking BlizzCon. They had the fucking World Cup shit. BlizzCon was the World Cup time.
StarCraft tournaments.
That shit was wild.
StarCraft tournaments.
So yeah, BlizzCon was just way more than. Yeah, that's why I said BlizzCon is huge. It's like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Probably makes them a lot of money too, actually.
Hell yeah, it's a lot of money. Hell fucking yeah. That shit crazy.
The amount of people that show up, and then the amount of people who buy the virtual tickets, because people love their in-game swag, man, and the little trinkets that they get.
Look, listen.
They get a pass sent to them that they can wear around their neck.
That's how I got my Riku minion in FF14, paying for the digital fan fest like a few years ago. The hell? Ain't nothing wrong with that shit. I'll pay for that shit.
Absolutely. I think it's cool. I just never really was into the stuff that they when I was watching BlizzCon, like in the heart of like when I played Hearthstone, I never had a reason to buy the fan fest pass or whatever, because nothing that they were giving, like they were giving like a Hearthstone card back or something like that. I was like, it's not that
value to somebody.
It's value to somebody, but for me it wasn't value, so I was just like, I passed on it. But it's definitely
got my Riku minion. I was hyped. Nobody got that shit. Shit was like a fucking $20 but whatever.
Well, it looks as though this is potentially rock bottom for Blizzard though at this point, and seeing what happens from here on out. I mean,
Blizzard good.
I'm sure they'll
People
be good.
Like
the properties
like, oh my
that
God,
they
Blizzard's
got.
fucked.
No.
Blizzard is good.
Far from it. I just think that now's the time for them to rebuild and get back to some glory days. You know, like we should be celebrating Blizzard games, right?
Yeah, WoW is doing good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know much about Hearthstone. Overwatch is doing okay. It's not like fucking the worst, but WoW is back. Like they'll be alright. They just got scooped by Microsoft. They'll be alright.
Yes, sir. It's gonna be interesting to see. BlizzCon 2025, maybe. Phil Spencer.
I might go. If I'm in the WoW by then, I might go. I always wanted to go for the WoW shit.
I'll probably be watching. I like to watch the streams.
I'm definitely going to the next fan fest though. Whoa!
Yeah, but sad announcements in regard to that, and that transitions to good announcements coming from Capcom, who, unlike other devs who have been sad or they've been disappointed with their game's performance. Capcom came out and they were just like, Dragon's Dogma 2 is performing favorably. We're good. They didn't come out and said it's selling, it's a disappointment, it's not meeting our expectations. Right? Performing favorably, which is,
That sounds like a company that has realistic expectations.
Exactly. That's what I took it as. That's why I wanted to bring it up, because it's just kind of like, man, it's you think a game is selling well, and then you get the you get the news headline from the dev saying it's not meeting expectations, right?
Even though it sold like millions of copies.
Even though it sold millions of copies. Now you got Dragon's Dogma 2. How many has it sold so far? I think the last report was what, 2 mil?
Yeah, and that's
that was like a couple weeks ago,
right?
Yeah.
By other companies, by other dev standards, that's low. But I'm like, hey, look, that's good for the series, man. Going forward, I still want this fucking performance patch, but that's neither here nor there. But anyway,
for a game with a tumultuous launch, and it's still getting support. There's patches every week or so. Like they're releasing some new patch, fixing bugs and doing things.
Find it funny, no one's complaining about it anymore.
Yeah, people have stopped complaining about it. People have grinded it out, and they started complaining about other things.
Then what else? Like, what's new? What's the new shit to complain about? I don't know. Like,
what's on the horizon?
I'm just glad Capcom set the record straight. I'm glad, because you know what that means? Capcom probably don't give a fuck about any of that shit. People were complaining about, look at this DLC, blah blah blah. Like, oh, they're probably like, oh, you mean like the last game that you bought, Devil May Cry 5 and Resident Evil? You mean just like those games? Remember, that shows that actually, we already knew this. It's obvious, right? But it does show to the people that are terminally online that nobody gives a fuck about what most of y'all complaining about. If people are interested in the game, they're clearly gonna buy the game, and the game is doing well by Capcom standards. So stop bitching and enjoy the fucking game, because it's a great fucking game. You cannot say it isn't. Like, there's no way you're telling me Dragon's Dogma is not a good game.
I've been enjoying this game a
hell of a lot. It's only getting better. It just dropped a new update yesterday, no?
Yeah, and that's the kind of game, like, think about it. Dragon's Dogma 1 had legs. You know what I mean? Like, it came out over a decade ago, and it was still selling, right? So this game is not going anywhere. I'm sure this will have just the same amount of longevity that the first game did, especially with frequent updates and shit like that. Maybe we'll get the updated version, the Dark Arisen version, like the first game did. Who knows?
Yeah, old Chad Capcom coming out and just saying like, hey man, we're doing all right.
They were confident and they were right. They were like, yeah, this game's gonna sell millions. We're confident this unannounced game is gonna sell millions.
Remember, we were like, damn,
we were like, it couldn't be Dragon's Dogma, right? It has to be Monster Hunter.
Like, there's no
we were like, it has to be Monster Hunter, bro. Like, part of me knew that Dragon's Dogma was the game, because, you know,
what else did they have?
We're in a post Elden Ring era, right? Where people love shit like that now. So if it was before, I feel like if it was before Elden Ring, they wouldn't have been as confident. But after Elden Ring came out, Dragon's Dogma is basically, okay, it's not one-to-one Elden Ring, but in terms of that open world RPG like itch, they both scratched a similar itch. So I'm sure that's why they were confident. They were like, Elden Ring, wait a minute, we're good at this. We did this before them. Like, you know what I mean? So I don't know.
It's funny because, like, in thinking back at the people that were complaining about the game's performance, right? Which, valid complaints.
Which is a valid complaint,
a lot of the like kind of I guess discourse and the increasing complaints around it on the internet, it was from people who were saying, man, the PC performs like trash, so I'm gonna play it on console, which means they bought two copies of the game. But they bought 2 copies of the game. That's what that means. And it's like, so you're complaining about the performance, valid, but you bought the game twice. You know what I mean?
But what the fuck? So you bought the game on PC, which means you have a big enough brain to do research, right?
Probably not. No, I wouldn't assume.
So if you bought the game on PC and it runs like shit on PC, right? Wouldn't you do research to see how the console version runs and find out that the console version is just as shit? Hello? Whatever.
Not the Twitter shitlord accounts that I was looking at. But...
True. Like, you gotta be dumb. Well, you gave him $120, so congratulations.
Oh, thanks for supporting the game. Thank you for playing the classic.
Thanks for the revenue.
Thanks for playing.
Yeah, I'm not gonna finish it. Like, bro, that's crazy to me. Like, I have my issues with the performance, but that doesn't stop me from realizing that the game is god. Like, I am kind of waiting to see if they fix it. If they don't, in like the next couple of months, I'm just gonna fucking finish playing through it.
I haven't hated performance at all. I think it only just like It's honestly only have been bad for me in towns, right? There's a lot of NPCs around, and it gets sub 30.
You're also
most of the time
a goddamn a goddamn monkey sword. You're not nuking motherfuckers and watching the game literally drop.
That is true. That's me. But my pawn is though.
The game literally, but all my pawns are. All right.
You mean my pawn?
Bro, I'm shooting magic. My pawn's healing. My other pawn is nuking shit with fucking meteors and crap, bro. The game is it's slugging. It's struggling, but it is what it is. My only issue with it is that you can tell the game is just unoptimized because there are instances where it's perfectly fine, and then there are instances where it's just complete trash.
Yeah, it's a CPU. It's a CPU. What was the phrase? It's just poor CPU utilization, right?
They could have fixed that.
And it's something that's absolutely fixable. It's something they should fix, and it may take time for them to fix, right?
I mean, as of right now, they've been keeping to their word. They've been dropping constant updates, and they did say they were going to drop performance updates. So as of right now, they've kept their word. So that's all I have to go on for right now.
Good game.
Go back to playing
this right now. Not going to take away from the game, though. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, hey, Chad Capcom.
I'm glad, man, because that means that now this is showing them that other games besides fucking Resident Evil and Monster Hunter are gonna fucking sell them. They could have easily went the Ubisoft route, went the Activision route, and just said, Monster Hunter's doing this? Shit, let's fuck everything else. Monster Hunter every year, every other year. Fuck no Dragon's Dogma 2, no whatever that new game is. I forgot. I can always forget the fucking name. Whatever that new IP they just announced was, none of that shit.
We're just gonna the Path of the Goddess.
Yeah. Like fuck all that Monster Hunter. We're just gonna keep shoving out Monster Hunter.
I mean, it kind of felt they were a little bit going that way because they had the Rise expansion, and then they had Monster Hunter Stories, and then they were teasing the new Monster Hunter.
Yeah, but that's
a lot of Monster Hunter news.
They just have a whole group of people just dedicated to Monster Hunter. So whatever they do, they do.
The whole Monster
to be fair,
Hunter
Monster
team.
Hunter Story has been around for fucking ever. Like that's a 3DS game, but like I don't know. They're not fucking shoving it down our throats. Like Rise came out years after fucking World came out. Stories is a spinoff. That don't count to me. I'm talking about like mainline Monster Hunter games. Like how Call of Duty comes out every single year. Assassin's Creed came out, like a main Assassin's Creed game came out every single year. Like I'm okay with a spinoff here and there, but nah, they could have easily went that route. And they probably wanted to. I'm sure there's some exec that was like, oh my god, you see the amount of money this game's bringing in? Yo, when's the next one? Bring it out soon, next year. And somebody was probably like, nah, we want to let this shit cook. Because they be probably arguing in the board meetings. Like half of them was probably like,
I bet it is.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
So when the shareholders probably at the top, like, we want to do Monster Hunter right now.
You know what it is? It's probably because the president's still mostly in charge and he birthed that shit from the beginning. So maybe he's just like, he still has like, he's like old Capcom school, like the Nintendo people. Like he's just kind of like, nah, hold up,
I'm glad they're back. I always say, but I'm glad they're back and they're doing new shit, man.
And his son has a good mind too because he fucking brought back Street Fighter. So like. And then he actually worked on Monster Hunter, right? Like he worked on Monster Hunter too. So
I'm glad that their risks are paying off. I do hope that new IP that they made sells too.
I'll definitely be buying it.
Yeah, same. I really hope that shit does well. It might not sell millions of copies, but I don't know. Capcom games usually do sell decently. I don't think they ever. I'm sure by their standards, there's been flops. But I don't know. Just the Capcom name, right? Their marketing ability. Capcom's always been really good at marketing stuff. So I don't know. Like they were on top of Dragon's Dogma, bro. Every event they had something new to show. They had the showcases, like, bro, they were going off for fucking Dragon's Dogma. I was like, wow. Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
really good
they
promotion.
do the same. Yeah, they did the same shit. I think they found a way of working through the COVID era and that works for them and works for the game. And I think they just like, well, if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Yeah, like what other? The only other games that I expected that from were like their big shits, like Street Fighter, obviously, right? Resident Evil, of course, they had to showcase Resident Evil. It's Resident Evil. It's like, hello, it's their main shit. So those games, like I expected that, like Monster Hunter, of course, right? But I didn't expect them to go all out for fucking Dragon's Dogma the way they did. That was cool. Like.
Well, I mean, but then again,
what's the dude's name? Fucking Itsuno.
What,
He's probably
Itsuno?
like, bro.
Itsuno?
He was probably like, yo, y'all better give me everything I need if y'all want DMC 6. Like, if y'all want DMC 6, you better give me everything I want.
I think that was the deal. Was that like he worked on DMC 5, so he could work on this game.
Y'all better give me everything.
Yeah. So now this I don't know. Who knows?
They
Maybe
them up. Yep.
I know they changed it up to something, but is it Dragon's Dogma 3 or is it fucking Devil May Cry 6? I haven't.
It's definitely DMC. I don't think we're going to see Dragon's Dogma 3 for a long time. If we ever see it, who knows? I don't know.
We'll get Dragon's Dogma 2.
We'll probably get some
Darker
expansion
Arisen.
DLC or something. Yeah, right. We'll probably get like an expansion.
Yeah, absolutely. Chad Capcom, keeping it up. Much like you listeners need to keep it up. Subscribe, complain, come and leave comments, but come on over to YouTube and subscribe as well. You know, like hit like, hit subscribe.
Can we actually
listen to us on Spotify? Though? Leave as many comments as you like, constructive or not. We like responding to the constructive ones, but
no, I'll respond to the stupid ones.
I'll leave it to the spirit to respond to the not so constructive comments. But if you leave a constructive comment, I'll likely leave a response. It may be constructive, it may not. It may just feed the flame. It may feed the flame of engagement. So you guys do you. We're gonna keep doing us, and we'll see you guys more next week.
Later. Damn, I didn't say anything bullshit this time.